right here is the solution to everything.
Oh.
This can be applied everywhere, across the board. All right, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it. Welcome to the PowerUP Man Cave. Well, this is the PowerUp RoundTable discussion. And I'm Keith Withrow here with my boys.
Gary Rambo, Stanley Archer,
Joe Verdun.
Yeah, man, we got some real good content for you. We got the real solution for all of the problems that we've ever talked about on all the PowerUp Man Cave problems and issues. We went from unforgiveness to insecurity issues to surviving divorce and dealing with a storm. We dealt with the loss. Talking about my mom, but this is what we're going to talk about tonight. This is the answer that can help fix all of those things. And what we're going to talk about here tonight is faith. Anybody who knows me know that's my platform. That's my thing. This is what I live by. But it's not just going to be all about me. We got several men here. We got men in the city that's gone through a whole lot of different things. We've had a great time talking about some of those things before we started filming here. And you know what? We're just gonna let that thing continue to flow. Faith, to me, from my lens, gives the Lord like the activation to move in your life. People ask, what's the key to success? I say faith.
Hey,
that's it. That's what it is.
You know, some people say infrastructure, some people say banking being properly funded, all these things. But you know what, bottom line, all that's good, faith. Because if you don't believe, then what's the deal? What's the use?
it'll never happen.
It won't happen. I think that thing activates. I talk about it like a little bit like this. When you walk up to an automatic door, you come close to that door, you automatically expect for it to open. If you know it's an automatic maneuver, when you get close in proximity, those sensors know you're close and that door opens for you. Okay? That's what faith works. If you believe and you know that that's when I get close enough to this sensor, that door will swing open. That's the way the Lord works. You just gotta believe that that door is gonna open when you get close. When you get in close proximity, when you get to that trigger point. There's trigger points. We're gonna get into all this a little bit. I'm kind of jumping the gun, but as you guys can see, this is something this is me. Like, this is the thing that drives me. This is the thing that I have to live by. This is how I operate. This is how I live my life. And I think tonight we're going to discuss some things that can help somebody out there. Because I don't think some people really understand how faith works. And I don't think that some people just truly understand the power of faith. It's almost like an unequal advantage once you understand how faith works. And I was taught to believe and understand faith by my parents at an early age. And I've just learned to depend on it. You can't depend on yourself sometimes. You can't depend on your peers and your friends. And I always talk about how it's important to have a good group of people around you, to have a great peer group. That's very important as well. But they are still human. They are flesh. So you can't depend on that all the time. You have to have faith in the Lord. Period.
I mean, just go right into it, because I think part of the disconnect is that people say, I have faith, I believe.
Yeah.
Faith is an actionable item.
Yes.
Action verbs you have to live out. So go ahead and speak further into how you take the steps, because if you say I got faith, I believe,
everybody not saying that. Most people will say that.
That's
right.
Most
people will say that.
Yeah,
it's action.
Like action.
They say faith without works is what? Dead. I know people hear it all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But guess what? All right, this is the deal. Like, okay, for instance, this is a discussion I had with Bishop Glenn Allen. We had a great discussion about this. Man, this is some good stuff. you have to put your faith to work. Don't put your faith in the unemployment line. Meaning, every day, there should be something that you need faith to obtain. In other words, it's out of your reach. It's out of your reach. So if I plan my day on what I can do on my own, then I'm not reaching. So I'm going to talk about what works for me and what has worked for me in my life. And I've seen it work in other people's lives. Steps. For me, steps are order. Okay? Meaning, I have insight, I pay attention, I tend to spend time, I try to take time to read my Bible and study, get in a quiet place to disengage so I can hear. Okay. Sometimes with some people, they may not hear it clear like I hear it. Some people, sometimes you get signs, you get doors open, you get situations. But you have to pay close attention to those situations and those triggers. Remember the door, I talked about the door sensor. When you get in close proximity, the door opens. But you have to, there's so much noise going on around you that most people are so preoccupied and they're involved in the noise that they can't pay attention to what's going on. Okay? But once you figure out what's going on, and if you can hear it, feel it, or have the triggers around you, you have to do what Stan just talked about. Action. See, once you move, you have to make a decision. Sometimes it's as simple as making a decision. The decision is the trigger. There's nothing, TJ says, there's nothing as powerful as a changed mind. Sometimes you can get fed up. Robert talked about it earlier, about how he got fed up on his job and it triggered him to do something in which it made him be released. And then once he was released, it opened up the door. He got in close proximity for a door to open. And once that door opened and he went through it, now a series of doors begin to open. That's right. I call that a trigger. The trigger meaning that once you make a decision and you take that step, now the Lord, that's giving him what he needs to bless you in that. He's sitting there waiting. It's set aside. How many times people are sitting there with stuff that's set aside? It's ready to go. It's sitting there ready to go. It's right here. But you will never get to it if you don't take the one step. You may not have to take all the steps to get all the way over here. That's right. It may just take the one step and you'll get catapulted over here, or you get that trigger that opens this door, which will open this door, and then he will change somebody's heart. He'll soften somebody's heart over here, and that person will come over and bless you, and then they'll get you this, and that'll get you to the next point. All these pieces of the puzzle that you talked about earlier, they all come together.
Remember in the beginning when we started this, we talked about it. You said it's about making the step.
Yes.
Making that step.
Make the step.
Making that step. You see all the doors that have opened, the doors that have happened. Even with this.
Yes.
Right here, because we're a long way away from where we were.
Exactly. That's right. From a thought. From a thought. It was a thought, right? And then you take a step, and then things start to happen. And I call it almost like being responsive. Like, okay, you take one step and things starts to happen. And then at that point, you're just responding to the things that are happening. And then the next thing you know, you're all the way over there. You're doing it. I say it like this, like on a roller coaster, for instance. This is a good way. Think about it. You go on a roller, you go to the amusement park, right? And you look at a ride and you say, you have had discussion, we ought to get on this ride, okay? So then you make a decision that we're gonna try this ride. We're gonna use the screaming machine at Six Flags. And you say, okay, we're gonna all get on this ride. So then you make a decision. Now, the decision was made, so now what you have to do, the first thing you have to do is go get in the line. Right? So now you're in the line. You're not on the ride, but at least you made the decision to get on the ride by getting in the line. Right? So now you're in the line. Right? But there's a lot of thoughts that come across your mind while you're in that line. Because usually it's a long line and you're going through this serpentine line, you're going back and forth. And as you get closer to the ride and you look at the people screaming and going on there, you start to say, am I making the right decision being in this line to get on this ride? And then a lot of times I've been on certain rides, and when it's almost time, you come out of the serpentine portion of the line and you come up to where you go into the stalls. Usually at that point, you're about 3 to 4 people away from your time to get on that ride. And that's when you really have the thoughts to say, you know what, do I really want to get on this ride? Or you can make a decision even before, because you can cross right through. You can cross right through and just go through to the other side and not sit down in that ride. But if you sit down in the ride and they say the things they're going to talk about, the safety things, and they have you put your hands up, and then they come and put the safety device down on you or lock you in. And once you're locked in, now you're on the ride, but you still can make a decision. I've seen people say, nope, let me off before they take off. Right? But once that ride leaves, okay? Yeah. And you're going up the first hill, right? And it's click, 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 click. Now this is when I talk about the trigger. Once you get to the top of that hill and you crest that hill, that's like when the Lord takes over. Because once that happens and you crest that hill and you go over the other side, you what? Do what? You put your hands up. Because now it's out of your control.
That's right.
You have no more control. Let go, let God. Right? Now you like this. You have to stay on for the ride. The trigger has already happened. You've gone over the other side. You have to complete the ride now. That's the way it is when you have faith about something. Once you make the decision, you make the first step, you get in the line, you get on the ride. Once the ride starts, once it gets going, and if it's something that he ordered, you can put your hands up. Now you're just responsive because he's taking over. Okay? That's what it's like. This is what I've done in my life. And it has proven time and time again. It is a proven. People make videos. I can tell you, let me show you how I take, I can flip houses and I can make you a millionaire within 5 months. Let me show you my bank account. I just took in $90,000 today. No, that's fine. That's good. Some people do it. But I'm going to tell you what works in every situation. That faith piece.
That's right. Well, sometimes they have faith that they're going to make money by showing you how they did or did not make money. And it's a dream. I'll tell you that whether it's a thought, whether it's a dream, or whether it's something that you always wanted to do, a fantasy, whatever it might be, there's going to be a lot of obstacles that's going to come between you and reaching that destiny.
That's right.
And that's kind of how the devil works. He's going to throw a wrench in the gears. But that's when faith comes in. If you got faith, there's nothing that you can't do. And you don't ever have to give up. And as long as you got faith and you're pursuing it, then your goal can still be reached.
That's right.
And when you give up, then that's when there is no more. And that's a lack of faith.
That's right.
You can't let any obstacle come between your way.
That's right.
Now, I know when I was a young man, I wanted to be a doctor. Come from a poor family. It was probably like, no way. I went to a constant once I got in college because it was difficult getting there too because there was no money. But, the blessings of financial aid, etc. But my counselor told me I would never be a doctor. And at that time, I just had to go on without her. I had to have faith that my intellect could take me. My counselor was not going to help me. She told me I couldn't take the classes that I needed. I had to change my major. But never did I give up the faith. And I went through my whole life, once I made it, thinking like, I can withstand obstacles. And it was just recent that one of my study partners, who was out playing golf, And I said, do you know, man, that counselor that we had, that I had, you know, she said that I'll never be a doctor. And he said, you know, this is one of my good friends. She told me the same thing. Now, for her thing, she had a thing about black folks wasn't going to be successful. Or there was some other thing that would tell her, because I had a little light-skinned friend, and she told him he could do anything. Change his grade from a B to an A. She wouldn't change my grade. I came with the same argument. She said, no way. But the thing is, you gotta have faith. That's just one isolated incident relative to a profession. But faith is far more than that. Faith is a way of life. It's every day. You gotta have faith when you get in your car that you're gonna make it to your destination. You gotta have faith that when you eat your food, it's not gonna be poison. You gotta have faith that you're gonna have divine protection for your family. And for the people that you love. That's my prayer now. Before I might eat and say, Lord, bless this food. But before I finish that prayer, I'm gonna say, Lord, give my family divine protection. Give all the people at this table divine protection. That's faith. And I believe. And so when people say an evil spirit gonna be cast on me, that's not true. Because see, I got something more powerful than that. My faith gives me divine protection everywhere I go. So the bullet just blazed right by me, because it's been time when I was running from bullets. And I could hear them coming over my head. Why they didn't hit me? Well, I had faith before I left the house that even though I grew up in a bad neighborhood, that I was gonna have protection. Through faith, there is no death. There's everlasting life. And so I'm gonna live my life, and if the bullet do catch me, if I get stricken by some disease and die, and obviously I'm in the medical profession, so I'm seeing it every day, then I can rest assured that irregardless of what happens, my faith is going to lead me to the ultimate goal, which is everlasting life. And I would suggest that all those people that are afflicted with whatever disease, whatever anxiety, whatever depression, whatever unforgiveness you've had, whatever hurt that you had throughout your life, then there is an answer for you. Just have faith. Believe in the Father, believe in the Son, believe in the Holy Ghost, believe in yourself. Start off with yourself and start believing. See yourself for who you are. See the beauty in yourself. See your own spirit when you look in the mirror, because there's nothing stronger than what God has given you.
Doc had pretty much covered everything that we spoke about at this round table. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about unresolved hurt. We talked about what we want from our women from a spiritual perspective. We talked about trust and all of that stuff. But we know that faith doesn't come across easy for everybody. So we want viewers to know that it's a muscle that you have to exercise. That every day that you need to step forward and, okay, maybe my faith wasn't as strong yesterday. I put me in it more than I put God in the situation. And I need to put God more in the situation so that I can let go and let God. And so when you recognize that within yourself, don't get discouraged. Continue to add more faith into your diet. Continue to add more faith into your workout.
It's like protein.
That's right. So you don't just take it like, oh, if I got faith, I have all the faith I need. All of us are still getting more and more like grounded in our faith as we continue to see how God steps in for us in many different situations. It only renews that faith even more. So now when bigger things occur, when cancers hit the body, you have the ability not just to resolve with medicine to understand, like, I believe in what God's going to do with the situation. And the result of it is going to be for His benefit. Versus it being about me, versus it being what I want out of the situation, being able to want what God desires out of the situation. And that's when your faith gets to 100% supercharged. And when that starts to happen, doors start to open. Then you just start to see all those things matriculate in your life. And so we need people to understand that faith in itself, when we said it's an action item, that is something that from even from a gym thought mechanism, you just got to keep working that muscle, getting better with it.
You got to stretch it. You got to make it strenuous. You got to make it strenuous on it. Grow.
Just like we spoke before.
That's my boy CT.
Yeah, I know, right?
You roll.
Shout out to CC. Yeah, that's
We
right.
were in a previous conversation, we were talking about, it's like working out. If you only been working out to say, 135 pounds, and you decide to get up under 15, you're gonna have a problem.
That's right.
It's just don't cave your chest in. That's what happens.
That's right.
So the thing is life and life's gym and God's design, in your faith walk, it's the same kind of deal. He knows exactly where we are at all times, no matter what. He knows where your faith is. He knows where the level of your faith is. The word talks about taking you from faith to faith to faith, glory to glory. And the turmoil that we've experienced lately, that's happened, and it's funny because we've been kind of in a tandem, in a tumultuous period.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all at the same time, dealing with the same, similar things or the same thing at the same time, in this spiritual battle, right?
That's right.
And that's what it's been like. It's been like life's gym, life's training ground, in terms of your faith building, from faith to faith and the glory to glory in terms of God's glory, His glory. Every time, we pass the test of faith, believing in God in these really tough situations, cancer, strokes, all these things going on. I mean, stuff that hits you in your face, dead in your face, and knocks you to your knees.
That's right.
And it's like in those situations, like, all right, okay, Lord, I'm shook. I'm hurt right now. I feel it, but I haven't lost my faith.
I gotta keep going.
I haven't lost my faith because what else was honestly in my mind? What other choice do I have?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because if the only other choice is to give up,
And that's not.
that's not an option.
Nope.
Giving up is not an option.
That's right.
You gotta move forward. In this case, without giving, I guess, too much. I'm talking about my wife.
Yeah.
This is going on. This stuff is hitting us in our face. This stuff is happening to her, and it's hard. But it's like nothing is too hard for God. Nothing is too hard for God. We've seen Him come through in these situations, and with these this trial with her. I mean, so many times, every step, big and small. I mean, every step we've seen Him come through, and it's like me and her at a point right now when stuff happens, like when she was in the hospital, she couldn't, at one point she wasn't able to, she couldn't use the bathroom. Hadn't used the bathroom in like 3 days. So I told her, so you know what time it is, right?
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I know. So right then, we start praying.
That's right.
All right, Lord, based upon Matthew 18:18.
Yeah.
It says,
right to the Bible.
whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth is loosed in heaven.
Yes.
So right now, I said, Lord, right now, you have healed her, and she is going to start using the bathroom normally
Yeah.
because you said it.
You claimed it right then.
Next thing you know, a couple hours later,
There we go.
she was using the bathroom.
You claim the victory. The victory has already been won.
That's right.
All we got to do is accept it.
That's right.
Faith is the answer to all. We'll be back next week for more on the power of faith. Do you have a faith testimony? Join the discussion in the comments below. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next week for part 2 of Faith.